Hi, Nige back here again, and today I've got another inbox review for you, and today we're going to be looking at something a little different from me. We're going to be having a look at Gecko models, US M76 Amphibious Cargo Carrier Otter. So this is the late production one from Vietnam. Okay, so yeah, this is something totally different to what I normally do. Obviously, I've done a few tanks and wheeled vehicles, wheeled vehicles, but it's the first time I've done anything quite like this. So without further ado, we'll get you on Tilbert and we'll get cracking. So start off with the instruction manual, a nice booklet from Gecko. This is their normal fare. Got a little bit of spiel on here, done by somebody called Philip Greenwood, and then we've got other bits and pieces. So we've got Dutch, and I would assume Chinese, Japanese, and maybe Korean or something like that. I'm not 100% certain, but yeah. So there's our instruction manual. First page, a bit of blurb on how to do it. Then we have our sprue map. We've got all those sprues. There's a few repeats, so we've got, like it says there, we've got 8 there, and then we've got 2 for the tracks and stuff like that. So we'll go through them as we get going. Starting with the prop for when it's in its amphibious configuration or when it goes into water. So we've got the prop there, some footwork getting added, some linkages, some springs, and all that sort of good stuff. Then we start looking at the lower hull, attaching the prop to the lower hull with some sort of bar that goes on, some sort of torsion bar, or that might be just there to protect the prop. We then move on to the wheels. Now these all look like they've got some sort of tyre on there. So how that works, I don't know. I don't know too much about this vehicle. We've got some of the drive sprockets and return rollers going onto the side of the actual vehicle with the torsion bars going in. We then got the tracks going around like so, and we've got some lengths and some links going on there. Before we're looking at the rear plate, radio compartment and stuff like that. All that again fits to the rear plate, so you've got all your radio parts and other ancillary parts going onto that plate. Oh, it's not the rear plate, it's the, looks like the front of the cabin sort of area. So we've got some buckles going on, we've got the top plate going on, with then what looks like the compartment for the crew. We're then moving on to the triangular type section that goes on to the nose section, where I believe we have then where possibly the driver and another person within the crew can sit. Looks like we then got the control yoke going on. Looking at this, I don't know whether that's maybe an engine compartment or something like that sits in the front there. Moving on, we've got little hydraulic parts and parts for the controls, windows, pedals going in for the to brake and possibly accelerator. Then we've got the control yoke going on to those and some fire extinguishers going in. More radio parts going on. Let's see where that fits. That fits again in that rear compartment. We've then got the sidewalls going on, and I would have thought that would be possibly the rear plate. Yes, it is. There we are. those sidewalls going on, the upper deck on the nose section. Before we've got the two different viewing options for the driver and the observer, I would assume. We have some hangers going on the side of the vehicle on the outside. Before then, we'll start looking at radio antennas and plates going on with some photo etch grills. We've got the hatches going on for the top deck for the front parts, and then this deck goes down, and before that goes on to I would assume where the engine goes. These two big hatches on the rear crew compartment. Rear doors going on again for the rear crew compartment. Some strengthening plates at the rear in photo etch. Some more strengthening bars potentially for the rear again. Then we've got some sort of box getting built. Some jerry cans. That could possibly be a fuel can of some sort. Some doors. The tools going on there. The door added. More bits of photo etch going on all round. Before then, we've got the door for the other side. We've got some spare wheels going on. Again, some more tools, jerry cans, doors, spare wheels, little hoses going in from that tank. Before then, we get the main weapon built. Looks like a 50 cal to me. If it's not, just tell me in the comments. Before then, we've got all the chain driven ammunition getting added to the weapon ring going above one of the hatches, and then we've got our complete cargo version with no wireless radio and equipped with a wireless radio version. We've then got our call outs for option 1, olive green in MMP mission models, color call outs at the top just there, and our option 2. So both olive green, one from Southern Vietnam 1970, well, they're both from Southern, so 11th Motor Company or 9th Motor Company. So that's the instructions. We'll get into the plastic parts now. So first sprue to do with the main weapon. Okay, nice that the main weapon is hollowed out. We've got the cooling holes for the barrel. They are all drilled out as well, which is really nice. We've got our rounds just there, and our ammunition box. Can't even say it. Our rounds box just over there. Next sprue is to do with some of the wheels and tracks. So what we'll do, we'll just get one of each out. So we've got some tracks there, and we've got some wheels there. Just make sure they're all the same, which they are. So I'll just put that over there. So our tracks, I like how they've done the link and length version of this. So hopefully there's not as much to worry about. I like how they've got the pads with the bolts on all of them. Not too much places to clean up on those. Only 4 really on the little linkage type bits just there. And then the other one in this sprue is to do with the drive sprocket and the return roller. And we've got the torsion bar bits over here. And what looks like potentially a radio part just there. Again, some nice detail on the nuts, the roller, the sprocket, and on the return wheel as well. So this one, we have got one of the wheels, possibly the spare wheel. We've got, again, some ammo just over here. The radios, again, some nice detail on these radios. With once that's in with a wash and a dry brush, they should really stand out to make it look really, really nice. It's all really well molded. We've got a dashboard just over there. Really crisp, no flash. Yeah, it's looking nice. So we've got two of the same screws. So we'll just look at this one. We've got part of the tank, some jerry cans with it's even got embossed in it USA and OMC. The jerry can handles, some of the pipes we're looking at. Now these is where we can see a little bit of flash, but with these little parts I would expect it. The top of what I think is a fuel can, and that's got some nice raised rivets on it, so that's really stands out really nicely. And I guess, again, another wash and then picking out those bolts will look really nice. Moving on to some of the main plates in this kit. So we've got the main upper deck where the crew sit, where the crew hatches are. We have that plate that feeds from the front, from the engine sort of area to, I think they may be the doors, the rear doors. Two more plates over here, and then all the torsion bars. And all over it, we've got nice raised rivets. Feels really nice, and it looks really nice to the naked eye. All round it, even to like little hatches or covers just there. Looks really nice. We've got our tools. Again, really nice, crisp detail for the axe, the spades, the pickaxe. Bear in mind, guys, a lot of these, unless they are used, will be oiled up and they might not necessarily be rusty. Ours never were on our vehicles, because if they were, we'd get a good telling off. We've then moving on to one of the main upper plates, the bow, or the lower plate, the hull, sorry. And again, detail all round. I like the detail of the strengthening bars with the nut detail on there. We've got nuts going, or rivets going all the way down, all over the main body. And again, on this upper plate just here. Same with this plate here as well. So again, some really, really nice detail. Careful of removing these parts, though the attachment parts are really, really thin. So they shouldn't have a problem really detaching. Just be careful with either your single bladed snips or with a knife or something like that. Next, we've got another plate. So this is the main plate that sits on the vehicle. We've got the seats that go on here, the engine sort of compartment, and then the main crew or cargo compartment. We've got the rear deck. We've got another floor, so I'm assuming that will go in that gap there. And again, we've got nice panel lines, we've got nice riveting with a nice wash in there and stuff like that. That will really come alive and pop, because don't forget, you can have the two compartment lids open at the top and the back, so you should be able to see a great deal in there. So that's really nice. These are some sort of doors. Whether you can have them open or not might be an issue because of these injection pin marks, but they shouldn't be too bad to get rid of. they're nice and flat, so you should be able to stand them out quite easily. So on this sprue, we've got the hatches, we've got some plates going on, we've got the ring for the weapon, we've got the propeller, and the propeller blade is really thin, though I would be tempted to thin that down even more. The attachment parts, again, are really small on these smaller parts. Okay, so these delicate parts, but still need to be careful removing those. Our hatches over here look really nice, and they have got a little bit of detail on the inside. But so if you're going to have these open though, there's some injection pin marks just there that you might need to get rid of on both sides. More plates, the ring for the weapon, we've got lights and stuff like that on there. That's that bar that protects the propeller blade. So some more of the smaller parts, 2 main doors for the top of the cargo area, and then we've just got loads of little ancillary parts. So these are all the parts that make up some of those little bits. We've got what looks like a canvas sort of thing just here. Onto our radio parts on here. And over there, remember, well, not remember, in the vehicles that we had different types of radios. Some were, you know, really secure with our crypto, some weren't. So I'm assuming some of these would be exactly the same. Some would be really secure, so when they get sent out, it'll be encrypted. Some maybe just a normal radio. So that's why we have quite a lot of radio parts in there. Clear parts. So clear parts are exactly that, clear. Really nice. We've got our light lenses. These would be for the windows on the sides and the front and stuff like that. So yeah, really nice there. So this one is the side plate. So you can see, again, we've got nice rivets. I like these strengthening bars around where I assume the fuel tanks are. We have strengthening bars around the opening at the front and around the bottom. We have this armor plating for the front. Remember, there's two. One with 2 holes and one with just the 1 hole. Again, if you're having this open, I would look at getting rid of all these injection pin marks. So they might be hidden in the shadows, but you never know until you actually build it whether they're going to be on show or not. So it might be worth getting rid of those. There might be certain parts that stick to this, I can't remember, but I would still look at getting rid of those before I decided what was going to happen with it. So this next bag has got multiple sprues in it, so we'll just have a look, see what we've got. So yeah, we've got 2 sprues just here. The first one's got a seat and it's replicated on the other one. We've got another box here, whether that'll be for ammo or for different parts. We have our fire extinguisher, which we will have to add the actual part just there, you can see, onto it to make it a fire extinguisher, which is really nice. You can get a really accurate replica of the fire extinguisher. And then we've just got some more little parts. So these are the shelf brackets that sit on the outside of the vehicle. Some more covers, some of the buckles, and other little ancillary parts just there. So the last bag with the plastic sprues in is for the wheels, which you can see just there. So with this one, we have the wheels in 2 parts, potentially 3 parts. That bit might be going over the top there, but I'm not certain. I can't remember. My memory's crap. So we've got wheels just here, again with our nuts and wheel hub, and we've also got some on the other side, so it's not totally blank. So when you build these, you should be able to build up into a nice good facsimile of the wheels. The last bag is for the decals and the photo etch, so let's go and have a look at these. So I'll just put the decals over there for a moment, and so there's our photo etch. Really thin photo etch, which is what I like to see. So we've got hatches on here, we've got grills, plates, straps, all that sort of good stuff. So that really up the level of detail in there. And then moving on to the decals. So the decals are just like a few plates, a few numbers, some dials. But other than that, yeah, really nice. So that's Gecko's Otter. Really quirky looking thing. Now I really enjoyed looking at this. I think it'll build up to a really interesting subject, with especially doing a water subject. You can see the watermarks actually on this vehicle. In some mud or something like that. I think it'd be really nice, especially with get a figure on the gun and one driving, potentially with the cargo bits open, maybe some cargo in there, or potentially some other people in there, some other men in there. But yeah, I think it's a really nice subject with lots of nice detail, and I think I'm going to have to read up a bit more about it because I think it's really interesting. Anyway, that's it from me. I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.